Hey guys, welcome to Tasty Treats with Teresa. As you can see behind me, I know it's backwards, we'll figure something out. Tonight is part 2 from last week. Last week I told you we made a bunch of meals for the quick cooker. So we're going to talk about that here in a little bit, and we're going to make one of those meals tonight. So just kind of a prelude from last week. Freezer meals are awesome. Call them meal prep, call them whatever you want to call them. This is just meals that you have ready in your freezer for whatever the occasion may be. Be it you got a busy week coming up and your kids have sports activities and you just need something to grab quick without going to McDonald's or wherever. Or maybe you're one of those people who like to have meals ready when somebody's in need. Somebody's a friend of yours is having a baby and she's got 3 kids and you got a meal ready for her. Or your grandparents are sick, you can make meals for them and have them ready. Whatever, however, but did you know, it's something I found out recently, that having meals prepped early is actually biblical. There's a story in the Bible about King David and a man named Nabal, I don't know how you say his name, and his wife Abigail. And Abigail had food ready. Story goes that King David came to town. Nabal said, "I don't know who this guy is. I'm not going to do anything with him." The Bible says he was a mean guy. So while he was out busy doing something, Abigail went and got. Now listen, now keep in mind, they didn't have grocery stores, they didn't have refrigerators, they didn't have freezers. We're talking long BC, long time ago. She had ready for King David 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 sheep dressed, 2 measures of parched grain, whatever that is, I don't know what that is, 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cakes of figs. She just had this stuff sitting in her house, ready to give to him. And David had 600 men with him. So he had a whole army with him. And the story goes that she didn't tell her husband that she did all this. She gave all this food away. When she came home, her husband was drunk. So next morning when he was sober, she told him what happened. He had a heart attack. 10 days later he dies, and the story goes on, and then she ends up marrying David. So there's your biblical story lesson for the night. So we're going to get onto the quick cooker, and just ignore him. I don't know what he's barking at. This is the Pampered Chef quick cooker. We talked about this a little bit last week. It is a 6-quart capacity. It usually runs $240, but if you have a show, you can get it for $96. Or if you're really good, you can probably get it for free. But you better have a really awesome show for that. It has a very nice body. It stays nice and cold. Anywhere you touch it, it stays cool. So that's great. It comes with your trivet or your rack or whatever you want to call it. And it comes with this really nice cooking guide, which has all kinds of recipes in it. Here's chicken parmesan, how to boil eggs, hard-boiled eggs, how to make rice. And I saw it in here a minute ago. There's a recipe in here on cheesecake. Can you make cheesecake in any other Instant Pot? I don't think so. But anyway, there's all kinds of stuff in here. So, this is a really neat item. Like I said, it's cool, it stays cool. It's got the handles down here at the bottom. So here in a little bit when I move it out of the way, you don't have to worry about it tipping over or spilling or anything. The only place on this whole thing that gets hot is right here, this valve. This is where the steam comes out. Now, let me tell you a little secret. When I first got this, I just left it underneath the cabinets, turned it on, whatever. The steam came out and my cabinets were actually dripping wet. Don't do that. That's why every time when I use this, I usually put it underneath the, on top of the stove, just so it can go out the vent. So, it sings. The inner pot and the silicone ring are dishwasher safe, so you can always wash them and clean them up when you're done. You can buy extra silicone rings. The reason for that is a lot of people will make like fish in here, And then after the fish is done, they go to make the cheesecake. Now their cheesecake tastes like fish because the silicone ring didn't get cleaned right. So you can buy separate ones, and they're color coded. So one could be for dessert and one can be for something else. This thing comes with 16 pre-settings on it. Oops, I don't know what I pushed. So you can have all kinds of settings with this. Like I said, anything from rice to grains. Cook your beans in here, your soup. It's also a slow cooker, so you can turn that, use it for that. So tonight we're just going to cook that meal that we made last week. Just took it out of the refrigerator yesterday. It says thaw it for 24 hours, so that's what I did. Here's the recipe, so I can use it again. It didn't leak, so I can reuse this bag for another one of these. I wouldn't reuse it for food or something like that, but something like this. And here's my my chicken, and all my seasonings, and my broccoli. So everything's in there. Get in there. We'll throw that away. We won't reuse that bag. And it sings when it's ready. Make sure your arrows are lined up. We're going to hit custom. I don't know what I pushed earlier. I'll hit something. Custom 20 minutes. And start. And there you go. Dinner will be ready in a few minutes. Now, you can see in the background, I got something else going on tonight. Because it's that time of the month again. At least once a month, I have to make my dog food. And I think I've mentioned, I made a video once before about making the dog food and showing you how to do it. I use this Rock Crock, the Dutch oven Rock Crock. This thing gets used for everything in this house. The best thing about this, it is hot, by the way, because it is, you can see it's boiling. The best thing about this pot is you can use it for everything. You can put this on the stove, in the oven, in the microwave, on the grill. Don't think I would use it. Don't use it on a open fire, but it's like a campfire or something like that. But these things are awesome. Thanks Beverly and Patricia for joining me tonight. So in here I have 4 chicken breast, beef broth, a couple apples, pumpkin, a can of peas, and I'm getting ready to add some rice. But before I do that, I'm going to add the kale and fiber, because kale is actually good for dogs. And of course the fiber is going to help him, this bathrooms. So you add this stuff. Pampered Chef just started selling this. They're really promoting it right now. Called Enrichables. You can buy these as a one-time thing, or you can buy them as a subscription and just keep getting them whenever you need them, be it once a month, once 6 months, whatever. You set up however you want to do it. You can get the kale and fiber. You can get, which is really good for, obviously, for fiber needs. Or you can get the pea protein, which is good for, obviously, if you want to sneak some more protein in your kid's diet. This stuff is really good in macaroni and cheese. You'll never know it's there. This one you might know because, obviously, it's green. But you can mix one of these with it and make green mashed potatoes or something that night. Have some fun with it. But you're adding some fiber and you're adding some protein to your kid's diet, and they'll never know because it doesn't add or change the flavor of anything. So obviously I've got this is for the dog, so it doesn't really care what it looks like, is it? So I've got the Rock Crock. These are our salad choppers. Very rarely do I use these actually for salad. They really need to change the name to food choppers or something. I don't know. But it's got a spring here, so it obviously will close easy for you. It's got to close here, so when it's closed, it stays closed, so you can put it in your drawer and you don't have to worry about it springing open or jamming the drawer when you try to open it. Use it this way when you're cutting lettuce, like a pair of scissors, or turn it upside down and cut it this way like I'm doing now for your meat. I want to cut up that chicken breast that's in here because my dog is spoiled, but he doesn't need a whole chicken breast in one meal. So obviously you guys know I've got 2 meals going tonight. So what are your plans for dinner tonight? Anything special? So tonight you got a cooking lesson, you got a Bible lesson, and you're learning how to make dog food. So, how long did this last him? About a month. Of course, I have a small Jack Russell, and I only give him maybe half of a cup every day. So this lasts a long time for him. What I do for him is I'll put some in a bowl. I don't know, 4 quart, maybe it's a 4 quart, I don't know, 4 cup bowl, Tupperware bowl, put it in the fridge, and then the rest of it will go in another container, usually about the same size container, stick them in the freezer. When that bowl starts getting low, pull the other one out of the freezer, and just keep doing that until he's, I'm ready to give him, make more. But yeah, he only gets a little bit at a time, just depending on the size of your dog. I do like to add parsley. You can add garlic. You can add basil. There's other spices that your dog can actually have that's good for them. Turmeric is good for dogs. And I like to add it because it gives a little color. But also, I know dogs' taste buds aren't even close to ours. But, it's just something that I thought might be a little different. These big chunks you see, that is actually apple. And it'll cook down. And it is super soft. But I left the skin on it this time. Usually I take the skin off. But this will be for him. And obviously he loves it. Now, every time I make it, I do a little different. Sometimes I just use a couple pounds of hamburger. Tonight I'm using leftover chicken breast. I just cleaned out the refrigerator for him. So, whatever. Just watch your spices. You don't want to give him onion. Onion's not good for them. You don't want to, obviously you can't have chocolate. What's something else the dogs can't have? Obviously a lot of sugar items, stuff like that. But this will just be his breakfast, and I give him probably about that much every day, mix it in with his dog food. So I'll show you guys what this looks like when it's done. And like I said, whenever you use your pressure cooker, whatever brand you use, I don't care what brand you use, make sure it's under the cover or your cabinets will be soaking wet like I did. So I'll see you guys next week, and thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.